We're back. We're making Guinness beef stew with personal chef Bill Collins. ChefBill.com is your website. This is going to be tasty.
It is going to be tasty, and it's a very simple recipe to do. You start out, as you will with so many kinds of beef stews, and I've got the examples right here. First of all, I browned the beef.
So you brown the beef before you do anything else?
Before I do anything, and because then what I like to do is I brown it, I take it out of the pan, and then I brown the vegetables. In this case, I've got some carrots, onions, and celery. And what I also do is I deglaze the pan a bit, get more of those beef bits up there, mix it in with the vegetables.
Gives it that oomph.
It's an oomph, that's exactly, because we're oomping this up quite a bit, because it's not just those things, because now the fun part begins. This is ready to go. This is at a simmer. Now, we talked a little bit before about Guinness. You want to be very careful that you don't want to burn Guinness. And obviously I've got a simmer going here. The next step is, before we put it in the oven, is we're going to add the beef stock.
Okay.
Can I ask a very ignorant question?
Please do.
You bring something up to a boil, then you want to reduce it down to a simmer. What temperature do you bring it down to? Because sometimes it goes all the way too low and it stops simmering. How do you get that right?
Well, actually, it's a matter of, depends what kind of stove you have.
Okay.
Because what you want to do is you really want to lower the boiling down, depending on what it is, especially if you're going to be putting Guinness in, you want to be careful that it doesn't stay at a high rolling boil. If it's an electric burner, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So really, I just pull it off the burner most of the way, so just a corner of it as the burner is turning itself down. Oh, okay. And then I'll slide it back, or I might have another burner on low, ready to go. Slide it over, because with gas, you can turn it right down.
Yeah.
So
that's a great tip. Thank you.
That's one of those things, because some things it doesn't matter. Yeah, it comes right up to a boil, no big deal.
Right, that's definitely an important tip. Now I have a question for you. When you buy stew meat, the good thing is you can buy it already cut up, so you can pretty much open the package and go.
Yes.
Do you suggest these smaller pieces, or can you really just open the package and just start cooking it?
Yes.
Yep.
Actually, to both, because it really depends what you want to do. Now, I said that to joke about it, but some people like big chunks of beef in their stew. Other people like really small. So it's whatever your preference is. The advantage of cutting it up is it's going to cook faster.
Right.
And but otherwise, there's no difference. There's no flavor difference. It'll take a little while longer to cook. It's still going to be terrific because it's going to be nice and it'll just break up in your mouth. So especially if you don't like doing the cutting and chopping, throw it in.
It's good to go. Okay.
Yep.
Are we going to let it simmer next?
We're going to bring it back up to a simmer, but we don't have to wait for that now. We talked earlier about, as I said, using the Guinness, but also another thing you can do is you can use another one. It can be a lighter beer. In this case, I'm going to be experimenting because this also makes this gluten-free. Is that you can go with a hard cider. So that's going to be about a cup.
That's in addition to the Guinness?
That's instead of the Guinness.
Oh, instead of?
Instead of the Guinness. And we'll be sampling a Guinness in a moment because thanks to the miracle of television, I have one ready. Because I did all of the Guinness, and this will be the experimental one where we can compare and contrast.
So we're using a hard cider in here.
Yes.
And now there's a lot. This is Angry Orchard. There's so many in Western Massachusetts, actually. I've been doing a lot of research lately. We're very lucky to have a lot of artisanal hard ciders coming out. So you can find those everywhere. We're
really quite lucky. And one thing that I do add, as you can see here, that's a little bit different from many stews, I add some orange zest to it. I think it kind of gives it a nice bright flavor. It pairs very well with the Guinness and the other beers as well. Because a lot of times you'll have a citrus and a beer together, and again, it's just the zest, so you're not going to get the acidity of juice. You're getting just that.
That's true, right? So you're not watering it down at all. You're not putting the juice in. You're getting the flavor, but you do a lot of times you have the beer with citrus.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it makes sense that the flavors would go together.
Exactly. I don't want to get struck by lightning, but Bud Light with lime. And that's a famous beer and citrus kind of thing together.
That's something you could do
if you were to make a combination.
Yeah.
So now here's one difference, because I did this earlier with the Guinness, is you can bring the stock up to a simmer. What I do is I add the Guinness and then I put it in the oven. Now, a lot of people they either put stews in the oven to cook or stovetop. For a Guinness, I don't like going stovetop because a lot of times you can't control the heat as well, and it can get too hot and can give it that burn taste because the darker beers are susceptible to the very high temperature of burning. So that's why, in this case, I always put Guinness in the oven.
Very cool.
And is that where it is?
The other one has been in the oven, and this one's going to make its way into the oven in just a few minutes.
Now, we are out of time, but can we get a quick look at the finished product?
I think we can. We happen to have some right here, and you can see it's a darker one than the other, and it's just a really tasty way to go.
Chef Bill? It's beautiful, and it smells great.
It is, yep.
I can't wait to dig in, but also still to come. Do you